I'm not surprised, motherfuckers.
What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the Courtside Soundoff podcast. Once again, I'm Josh Evanoff. As always, welcome by the one and only man of the hour, too sweet to be sour, future Jiu-Jitsu world champion, Angelo Ortega. We got a lot of stuff to talk about this week, boys. Not really a whole lot. But we got some things that happened over the last week. UFC Denver, they're back at the UFC Apex again.
Can you be honest?
Yeah.
Before you even keep going, I completely forgot there was a card too. I just thought we were gonna preview, and then I don't even know what the fuck else we're gonna talk about.
So we have a big.
And there is a
preview.
list. It's not like I couldn't have.
No. And it's a big week because we have Jake Paul, Mike Perry. That's a big fight. I'll give him credit. It's not as big as the Mike Tyson thing, but
Yeah, no, it's more like a Floyd.
it feels like kind of a throwaway fight. There hasn't been a whole lot of promotion. I don't feel like, but whatever.
But if you know the fight's going on, it's worth your time.
Oh
It's a
yeah,
banger.
and they have like an undercard full of fights I do care about. Mendes Serrano going to be fighting a Cam. Uriah Hall.
Dude, I looked at today. I saw the guys. I was like, they could have found someone, right? Like they could have found.
Dude,
There was someone out there.
I've told my fiance this, dude. I was like, if you pick up women's boxing, you're gonna be top 5 ranked within a year. Like that's just like that's something.
If you care, right? If
Like,
you're
that's-
passionate.
That's literally it, dude. Because there's
You saw
some weight
Felix Shields
classes.
gonna go up to fight heavyweight.
Yeah,
Win the
dude.
women's heavyweight.
Yeah, because there's like 4 women heavyweights, so it's like
Yeah, I think the girl's like 5-1 or 5.
yeah,
And
yeah, exactly. And
some
she's
small record, no disrespect, but I'm just saying.
oh yeah, I mean, like we're not pros.
And
or
she's
anything
like-
past it,
And she's
so.
like a heavyweight in the sense of like she's not very tall, and she is a heavier woman.
She's like, by the way, dude, women's heavyweight. I guess they don't have like in men you have to be over 200 pounds. I guess from women's heavyweight, it's just like 175 up. So it's like she's like 188, 5'9", and it's like not even 5'9", she's like 5'6", like 190 or whatever the fuck, and she's a women's heavyweight champion.
Yeah,
It's like what the fuck?
maybe she
Like,
can crack.
Maybe she can. Maybe we'll find out whenever she fights Krista Shields in like 2 weeks.
Is that when it's happening?
Yeah, in Detroit.
What
Clarissa
the fuck?
Shields'
We'll look into this
hometown.
later. That's fucking hilarious.
Yeah. So shout out that that'll be
Clarissa
fun.
Shields is a heavyweight champion.
You see that video of her? By the way, this is super off topic, and we're gonna get into the recap. And I still haven't done the ad read, but did you see that video recently of Krista Shields just bodying this woman who talks shit to her on social media?
Like in person, or
It was a troll. It was a troll who I guess was like telling her like, "Hey, I'll fuck you up." So they met at her gym.
when are people gonna learn?
Clarissa Shields fucked her up in like 30 seconds. It was.
Dude, I'll always think of that Chris Curtis clip where he's fucking that guy up at the gym. And you know it's bad when Sean Strickland has to pull you away from fucking up some random
know.
civilian.
Yeah, dude. Hey, you know what? People don't get it. People don't get the differences between an actual fighter and somebody who. And by the way, the funniest part about the Clarissa Shields clip, the lady looked like she had a little bit of experience. I'll give her some credit.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Like she landed like I think like a jab or
She
something.
started shoulder roll. That's
No bullshit. Here's what she did. So she landed like a few jabs to the body, and then I think she like kind of Krista like landed a big shot. So she like went up to the ropes and tried to like she was Tyson Fury, tried to like.
By the
do
way,
some head movement.
size and height wise, did they match up?
They were
pretty-
comparable. They were
Okay.
comparable, and she tried to do something like Tyson Fury, like like that. You know what I mean? And the Clarissa Shields just fucking threw an
Blasted her.
overhand right from hell and just fucking, brutalized this girl. But
Just gave her brain damage. Why not?
oh yeah, why not, dude? Before we break into all the action that did happen over the weekend, real quick, sponsors of the show, Rogue Energy and ELYXR. Rogue Energy keep me fueled up no matter where I'm at, whether I'm at home, at the gym, or doing this podcast. They keep me fueled up and ready to go, and they can help you as well with code Soundoff at checkout for 10% off. ELYXR.com, the exact opposite. Ladies and gentlemen, it is NCAA. I'm as we're recording, NCAA college football released yesterday. You know what I did? At the end of the night, put on some ELYXR gummies, took them on, played the game. Had a great time. Enjoy yourself with some ELYXRs.
Did you have a generational run?
Well, I'm only one game in. I literally set up my character. I fucked around with like the conference settings, and I fucked around with all that stuff. And we played KU. I skilled KU for the first game of the season, won 49-42 in a nail biter. Crazy game.
Josh is a little rusty right now, you know?
Oh, dude, I'm so rusty. But I was playing on All-American, dude. I'm playing on like the second
Oh,
hardest difficult.
I'm sorry, Josh. I didn't know I called you a pussy by
Well,
accident.
I'm not playing on rookie, dude. I'm not playing on easy, bro. I'm fucking.
You're that fucking guy.
I play Madden on all Madden. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna play college football on just one down from.
By the way, this is like your comeback year in gaming. By the way, I feel like the last year and a half has been for you. Does that mean that
Yeah.
you're coming back this year for Blop 6?
dude. It's like whenever Michael Jordan came out for the Wizards, bro. Like that's like me. I'm booting up the game.
You were playing
dude.
baseball. You know, you were here playing fucking Baldur's Gate and what are the fucking games you were playing? What was the space game you were playing?
Oh man.
The one that
Starfield.
you're playing fucking
I played a lot of fucking Starfield.
But now you're playing like real man shit. You're gonna come back and play round based zombies.
Yeah, dude, fuck yeah, dude. No, not even a joke. Not even a joke. I might take off the day for that and just like have a time. I remember I used to do that for video games like a lot. You know what I mean? Like when I was like kind of in high school.
You know what's
I'd be
crazy?
like,
They
oh,
got
shit,
crossplay now, so we could definitely play together now.
Well, I think we should. I think whenever this shit drops.
I am getting Blob 6. I put up the I put up the sticks this past year. MW3 was
really?
I just was not gonna give him money this year. I was not. I tried it last year. I was like, you know something. I had some decent fun with it. I'd randomly hop on it. I enjoyed it a little bit, but and like there's things I do enjoy about the game, but I'm just like, dude, it's not the same. And there's just, COD is missing a little bit of its old COD, And I feel like now with Black Ops and it being a Treyarch game, by the way, a lot of people don't know this, but this is in COD's history, this is the most time there's been between games, like between developers, because there's multiple developers
Correct.
in the game.
3 of them.
This is the most time any developers ever had.
Ooh, I didn't
so
know
that's why I have high hopes, and that's why they've added so much stuff with like, movement and round-based zombies and all this and that, and I'm just excited for the game to be back. I'm excited to have a Treyarch title again, because to be honest, if people make a all-time COD list, there's going to be multiple.
I feel like most of Treyarch.
There's going to be multiple Treyarch games in the top 3 to 5, probably.
Yeah, I agree. I was always more of a Treyarch guy than over Infinity Ward, and I'm gonna include Sledgehammer. No offense to them, they just whenever a Sledgehammer game's coming out, it's like, oh, it's a forgettable year.
It's not. I'd say for their games, it's kind of like it's like a hipster choice. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree with you, because like they got added in the latest. Their games have been good. They've not great.
I guess they've been controversial, right? Like a lot of people at the time with Advanced Warfare, like
I loved Advanced Warfare.
I loved it too. Look, I never had like a looking back in hindsight, but some people have like over the years been like, something, looking back at it, AW is pretty fun. Same, I think even some people have had kind of like, and it's not as much, but even with Infinite Warfare, like I remember I've talked to some people and been like, something, the zombies was different, it wasn't the same, but looking back at it was enjoyable. Yeah. And Infinite Warfare was like pretty fun. And also like, I hate to say it, but I feel like those two games actually had like a pretty decent skill gap.
I agree with you. Actually,
especially Advanced Warfare because of the movement. But we don't gotta get into that. We'll bring it back to.
Well, I will say before we go and move on, I am back to the game, bro. I'm fucking back, dude. This year, played a lot of Starfield, played a lot of Baldur's Gate. Because for the last 2 or 3 years, I haven't really cared that much about gaming, honestly. Like since like.
There was a period there where games were pretty weak. I wasn't having a lot of. There was only a few games that I played.
2020. Yeah.
Yeah, and there's a number of reasons, right? And also a lot of like studios let people go and shit like that. But
yeah.
There's just, that was just the world we're in right now. Yeah. A lot of that got left. Yeah.
But played a lot of Baldur's Gate, played a lot of Starfield. I've played. To give you guys an idea, Baldur's Gate, I put 4 days of playtime in. Still haven't beat it. Still on the first playthrough.
That's how much you're enjoying it.
Yeah, I shout out a friend of the show, Serena Southpaw, Serena De Jesus, Invicta FC contender. She replied to me on Twitter yesterday. She's like, "Yeah, I put 500 hours in, and I'm discovering new shit every single game." And I'm like, "Yeah, dude, I absolutely buy that." Like,
shout out her.
Yeah, shout out. Maybe she'd be a fun neighbor, But yeah, man, playing a lot of that. And I'll let you guys know from my brief first impressions of NCAA College Football 25.
To W, it was worth the wait.
I don't know if it's worth the wait entirely. It's 11 fucking years, but it's beautiful.
No, but I'm saying, but like for it being that long, like what they gave you was correct.
It's a good game. It's a very good game. It's not like Madden. It's not like a lot of people were afraid it's going to be a Madden clone. It's not like Madden at all. It's a very different play style.
That's good.
It is very different as far as like the venues and as far as
do you like the
presentation,
game, like the football gameplay itself, better than Madden?
I think I'd have to play more to really give you a conclusive answer on that. Like I said, I've only played a couple of games.
I'm guessing you've only played a little bit of Madden too.
Yeah, and like I haven't I've not played Madden this year. I don't even think Madden's out this year. But last year I played a fair bit. Not as much as the last few years, but and it was fine. Madden doesn't change at all, really.
It's much kind of like 2K and FIFA.
Yeah. Exactly. That's why a lot of people were disappointed and they were kind of worried.
But I think it changes like the cheese in the game, right? If anything.
Yeah, exactly. But NCAA, man, it's weird, man. Like the AI is actually like adaptive and like if you run the same play like 3 times,
so like, yo, what the fuck?
You're throwing an interception, buddy. You can't run slants all the time. Like you can't run 4 verts all game. It's a lot of running, honestly, running
But
downhill.
wait, is it all
you know?
current college players or like some old college players?
It's
in there?
all current college football players. So everybody, they have all the player. Everybody that has a tiny deal for them. you
So
know?
going forward, they're gonna release a game each year.
Correct.
Holy shit!
So that's it. They had to pay a lot of money.
Wait, so is Vitor's kid in the game? Or he's not out of college yet? I think he's going into college.
He's going to college next year, so he will be. Yeah.
But what's his name? He plays for Tennessee, right?
Tennessee.
Dad was a big time QB.
Arch Manning.
Yeah.
Arch Manning plays for Texas. He
I
did
know
not.
it was a T.
Yeah, he didn't.
I'm not a football fan, guys.
No,
Don't fucking decide to come after me.
No, you got pretty close.
I knew it was AT.
Well, it was funny is I think he almost played for Tennessee because Peyton Manning played for Tennessee.
That's
But
hilarious.
he's Eli's son. But anyways,
But he's in the game.
He's in the game. He didn't want to do a deal to be in the game. And I guess the whole thing is they were offering him $1,000. If you're a player, I think you get offered between like $500 to $1,000 to sign your likeness away, basically. And he said no. He said no for the longest time.
I kind of get it though.
And then like last week he signed a deal and now he's in the game. But apparently the rumor was it was for $50K. So he fucking
got the bag.
He got the bag. Yeah. So shout out NCAA football, man. Hyped. We don't get the mascot games anymore, which is really upsetting. But look, man, they're advanced, bro. Like, they got multiple. Like I played Play Now or whatever just for my first game, just to see like what the mechanics were before I started Dynasty. And like, dude, like you can select like, obviously you can select night time, how you want the weather to be. Do they even have shit like, do you want this broadcast team or this broadcast team, or do you want the C team, the A team, the B team? Like,
that's a dub.
Exactly. It's fucking sick, dude. When you're playing Dynasty, you can change all the conferences and move Alabama to the Big 12 or some shit if you wanted to. Like, just crazy.
So if you're like a diehard like college football fan or just a football fan, this sounds like a great game.
It's deep, basically. You got all the recruiting shit I told you about. Like, it's very simulation based too. I mean, it's a weird mix. You know what I mean?
That's awesome.
Right now, first impression, look at an 8 out of 10. 8.5.
I'm so excited for your undisputed review whenever it releases.
I'll fuck, dude. Of course I'm doing an undisputed review, buddy. Come on, bro. Let's go, man. Dude. Dude. When you really think about it, gaming's back for me personally.
Whenever you get it, we might have to do a live show where I play you and we.
Dude, I think that'd honestly be a great idea. No dead ass, maybe a Twitch stream or something.
You're gonna get those fucking hands, buddy.
Oh, I'm sure you. Yeah, come on, man. If you ever think about beating me, you better wake up and apologize.
OJ, I haven't played in a few months.
Yeah,
I haven't played in a few months. I was having fun with it though. I played the fuck out of it. I think I only played one career, but.
Hey man, whenever it drops, I'm down to do a whole stream or something fun.
I need to download it and play it again though, because I did have a lot of fun with it and see if they changed anything.
Yeah, but I'm down, dude. I'm down. But anyways, oh yeah, I was just gonna say it before we go and move on. Last thing, because honestly, let's be honest here. 2 of these cards, guys. Come on. What do you want me to say about them? You know,
and if you hate yourself that much, maybe even 3.
Yeah, yeah. Actually, dude. The last thing I'm gonna go and say, dude. Gaming for me personally, I walked through all the stuff I've been playing. It's back, dude. First college football game in 11 years. First boxing game in 14 years. Dude.
GTA 6 next year?
Blobs 6 coming out, dude. Round-based zombies. We're fucking back, bro. We're back. That's it. Chat, we're back, you know?
Dude, right now, my big thing that I'm waiting for is for them to release the Spider-Man 2 game on PC. I don't know how long that's going to take.
Yeah.
It took very long time to even get the first one.
Correct.
And then also whenever the Wolverine game releases.
Oh, that one I'm hyped for. I'm down.
But also heartbreaking. I'm gonna have to wait a long time for that as well.
Yeah, which is unfortunate. But
hey, look, story games. They'll always be there, you know.
You're gonna live to see GTA 6, buddy. You know.
Hopefully.
We were in elementary school whenever fucking GTA 5 came out. So there you go.
Was that actually a fact?
2012. I think we were in 6th grade. Or was it 2013?
I think we were in middle school. I remember we were in middle school because I remember riding on the bus because the GTA release was such a big thing. Yeah. I remember it was on one of the local radio stations. They're talking about that a guy had already beat it by that morning that we were going to school.
That's crazy. Yeah, you're right. 2013. We would have been in 7th grade.
Yeah, I remember that. Because we were riding the bus and we had the radio playing on our bus and they were talking about how a guy had already beat the game.
That's crazy, dude. That's such a cool memory, dude. I like little shit like that. I remember being in like 6th. This is an actual 6th grade memory. I remember sitting in I was about to say our elementary school name. I don't really want to dox ourselves that much.
Yeah, do not dox. It's like even though we don't live over there, we're not that far from over there.
In elementary school, I remember 6th grade sitting in the library talking with friend of the show, P-Man. I'm not going to dox his actual name. And you. And I remember sitting there and talking. And I don't remember what we were talking about. I think the reveal trailer must have just dropped or something. It was gonna come out soon, and I remember being like, "Man, 2025, that's so far away." Yeah, and now we're getting Black Ops 6, return to fashion, return to form in about to be 2025. Crazy. Anyways, man, something I'm not gonna remember because that would have been 2012. 13 years later, we're finally getting it. And I forgot this fight 13 minutes after it happened. UFC Denver going down last Saturday night at the Ball Arena in Denver, Colorado. Look, man, I'm gonna be honest with you. There are about 3 good fights on this card. I not trying to be disrespectful here. I just did not. This card I thought could have been a lot better than it was. In the main event, Ramos Namajunas, kind of a clinical win, I guess would be the word you kind of use. Defeating Tracy Cortez 49-46, 49-46, 48-47. I'm not sure where the fuck that guy got 2 rounds from. Clinical. Rose outpointed her.
Took her down.
Controlled the fight for the entire way through. Tracy Cortez, I mean, for 10 days notice or whatever, she did her best. She cut the hair. She cut the hair at the weigh-ins.
She looked cute with short hair. Just putting it out there.
Yeah, factual. So I mean, she did fine.
I just had to put it out there.
Yeah, I know. Hey, Tracy, our boy over here.
Yo, but respect though for her cutting it.
Yeah, and a lot of people. By the way, can we talk about how fucking stupid everybody is? I know you saw these posts too. That like, why is she holding her hair up if she cut the weight and she cut her hair? It's like, dude, do you not realize that picture was taken after she already weighed in? It's a ceremonial weigh-in. You fucking idiot. Like, what the like? Did everybody get amnesia as far as to how UFC weigh-ins work? No, just me. No.
Regardless,
yeah, go ahead.
As far as the fight itself, I mean, look, we pretty much were very confident and blunt about this on the podcast. It was a lot to ask out of Tracy. Like we said, it was at Elevation. It was in Rose's backyard where she trains at. On top of that, it was short notice, and also Tracy was facing a former champ. And if we were being completely honest, like we said on the show, it was like, when you compare skill set for skill set, I don't know if Tracy Cortez is better in any of them.
Correct.
At least against Rose. I feel like Tracy's not far from improving and being better and maybe being able to reach that next echelon of quality of fighting.
Mm-hmm.
I think it can happen, give it time. And also, like we said, this fight could be different under different circumstances of it not being short notice.
Correct.
Maybe not at Elevation. There's other factors that played into it. So I think that maybe it could be it could have been a better performance for Tracy Cortez, but I don't think it would change the results still in my eyes, or if at all.
Yeah,
but credit's dude. She showed up, bro. 1 week's notice, decided to take the opportunity, take the risk, take the chance.
Yeah. Hey, look, she tried her best. I didn't have high expectations, like you said. Like, I'll be honest with you, like this was one of the main fights I thought on this card. I'm like, that's a fucking lock, dude. Like, no offense to Tracy, but it's such an ask. 1 week notice. I think it was closer to. I think it was 10 days exactly. But
also,
fuck it,
Rose showed up. That's the other thing we gotta give her.
Oh yeah, like Rose was at the top of her game. There are nights where she's not at the top of her game. Maybe this was not her best performance, but look,
kind of like the last fight. She took care of business.
Did her job, and there have been times where she hasn't been able to do that, and she's looked out of form. She was on point. I was about to say last Saturday. And Tracy, like I said, it was a big ass, man. 1 week notice at Elevation, former champion, all this stuff. First main event. She went from fighting, I mean, her last fight, Jasmine Jasovici's, I think, who's not even ranked, or 15, barely
15
ranked.
now, yeah.
Yeah, and now to go from that to fighting Rose Namajunas in Rose's hometown, like in her hometown, that's a tough ask. She did fine. I thought she won a round, but not much more than that, unfortunately. Mm-hmm. Rose Namajunas, title shot next or no? What are you thinking?
No.
No? Who do you think is in front of her at 125 pounds?
Are you being serious?
Yeah.
I mean,
am I forgetting somebody? So we obviously we're gonna have the rematch between Gratz and Shevchenko, right?
I feel like when you see it, you'll be like, oh,
Manna Farrow. What am I thinking? Yeah, she already beat Rose. Shit, what am I thinking?
I think the fight we need is Erin Blanchfield versus Rose Namajunas.
Yeah, I need that. Give me that. Give me that.
I think that's what we need.
Yeah, I don't know how the fight goes, man. I'm very curious to see how Erin Blanchfield bounces back after everything.
It wasn't even that long, right? When she fought Manna. What was the date? Do you remember that?
Yeah, I believe it was in May, like May 18th or some shit. It was like mid-May. I could look it up real quickly. But I remember, and that wasn't a bad loss by any means. You know what I mean? She just got outpointed. Couldn't get her game plan going. It was March 30th. Excuse me. I'm a little bit off. The M's messed me up. But March 30th.
It was this year. It doesn't even feel like it was this year, but it was.
Oh. So I'm interested to see where that goes. But for Rose, that's like you said, that's a perfect fight. Rose Namajunas, Erin Blanchfield, book it. I'm down with that. I love that. We'll see what happens though. She said she wanted a title show afterwards. I completely forgot about Manny Farrell.
Yeah,
so
Rose, that's not happening.
That's on me. I mean, she already lost to her, so
Yeah.
I understand man maybe not have the most impressive, not the most impressive / most dominant or entertaining fights. But fuck, dude. I mean, she's
winning.
She's winning. That's all that matters.
Yeah.
49-46 Blanchfield in New Jersey. What are you gonna do? So, yeah. Anyways, man. Co-main event: Muslim Salakov defeating Santiago Ponzinibbio by split decision. I do not agree.
I cursed
with
myself.
That's what you get. That's what you get for agreeing with me. However, in my defense, I'm not the one who fucked up here. You know who fucked up here? Dean Albeida and Chris Lee fucked up here. Okay,
I'll be completely honest. I didn't maybe have the closest decision with watching this fight, but I did afterwards. Was like, I thought Ponzi won that. Like,
I also thought Ponzi won that. I thought he took 1 and 3 pretty clearly.
The public and the media would agree with us, Josh.
Correct. 4 out of 14 thought Salakov won, and media members, and as far as fan scoring goes, what's that be officially about 58%.
By the way, can we go to Ponzi's record right now to talk about this? Because I look at this after the fight.
Yes, sir.
Josh, I believe now it's 3, maybe 4 losses in recent time.
Yeah.
Split decision losses.
Correct. So we're gonna go back to December 2011. 2021.
Zoom in for me.
He lost to Jeff Neal by split decision. Okay. Then he lost to Michelle Pahea by a split decision. A couple months later in May 2022, he knocked out Alex Morono.
Coming from behind.
Performance of the night, UFC 282. Only one of the best fights on that card. Lose to Kevin Holland by knockout. Okay, Kevin Holland. And then loses here by split decision. 3 split decision losses in 4 of his last appearances. That is, for his last losses, excuse me.
And he is 37, 38?
38, I believe. 37. He's going to be 38 in 2 months.
Yeah.
That is absolutely brutal.
I mean, this is just unfortunate.
He's an all-time what if for me, like I said.
I feel for the guy, man. Especially because he has a very likable personality. I've heard him on the Spanish commentary because every now and then I'll go back and watch fights. They got a few guys on there. The color commentator, Victor Davila. And, they always had fighters on their Cheetos. They've had on there Brandon. Santiago, obviously a lot. He's like, I'd say they're like, he's like their DC, I guess.
Yeah.
Because they have him there so often. He's like almost there for all of them. Or like, who else does a lot of commentary on the fighter? Like, he does more commentary at Dark Horse. He's there a lot, man.
Mm-hmm.
He's there a lot. And he's a fun guy. He has a lot of insight, very knowledgeable. I mean, the guy's fought, almost 40 fights. Credit where credit is due, man. Especially coming out of Argentina, a region that's not really represented that much in MMA as a whole. Really doesn't have that many guys leading the front on that. Yeah. I mean, is he the first Argentinian fighter in the UFC? Do you know?
I believe so, and there's only a couple of other ones. I know our girl Eileen Perez is one of them.
There's some younger cats that come through in recent time, like 2 or 3.
Yeah. But not many representing Argentina.
Yeah, and I mean, if we're talking all time, he will probably go down as of now as the best Argentinian MMA fighter of all time. Yeah,
yeah. But look, dude, I feel so bad for the guy, man. I really do. I mean, that I thought he won that fight. I can't remember the other 2 split decisions, how those fights exactly went, but I just feel for the dude. Honestly, I really do.
Because he has to think in some capacity still. I'm sure there's some sort of it mentally fucks with your head.
Oh, absolutely, dude. It has to. Yeah. To get that close. I mean, fuck, dude. If he wins those fights, he's probably ranked. You know what I mean? Like, actually, there's no question he's ranked.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, I don't know, man. I feel bad for the guy. Going on down. Normally, I'd ask you, what fights do you want to talk about? This fight, look, Dr. Stoppage did not end the way I wanted necessarily.
Yeah. I was a bit heartbroken, but I was like, damn, I get it, but fuck.
Shoot over, John Silva. Banger.
Gene Silva.
Nope, I'm going to call him John.
John
Silva. No, Gene Silva. Fine, whatever.
Jan Blachowicz?
Banger fight, though. It's one of those fights that was on paper, like, okay, these guys are going to kill each other.
Wait, does Gene Silva bounce between weights, or does he fight normally at lightweight?
So I feel like he's bounced back and forth. He's fought. He used to fight at featherweight, missed weight for his last fight against Charles Jourdain.
By the way, 3 fights this year. He's already going, and I heard he's working on getting his 4th fight.
I mean, he's a fucking savage, dude. He's a complete. I mean, he fought. I mean, I don't know why we didn't talk about it enough. He fought last month and then fought again 3 weeks later.
Well, dude, when we were talking about this card, I saw his name and I was like, didn't this guy just fight?
Yeah.
But I didn't say anything because I wasn't 100% sure.
Yep, he did. Yeah, man. He just wanted another fight that quick.
But is it true that they are working on getting him his next fight already? Like,
I believe so.
I think he might even have a date or a rumored date if I'm not mistaken. I'm not seeing anything, but
I'm not seeing it yet, but
I could have sworn I saw some like hidden post or something.
I heard something about he wants a quick turnaround. I don't know if that's been like official. They found exactly what to do yet, but look, man. Hey, the guy's a fucking savage. So as far as I'm concerned,
and he's
let him fight
DTF.
already. Oh man, you know he's DTF, bro. Come on, 3
He's
weeks
DTF.
notice. He just knocked out the only man to hand Charles Jourdain a knockout loss, and 3 weeks later he's like, you know what, fuck it, I'm gonna do the same to Drew Dober. You know,
That's pretty.
That's badass.
That's pretty badass.
Shout out Annie Lusa, showed up, fought the first round, and then did nothing for the next two, losing to Gabriel Bonfim.
The Bonfim brothers,
yeah,
one of them back.
They're back on top, bro.
They're back.
I still think they got
just like
potential.
John Jones is back.
Oh, we'll talk about that in a few. Buddy. Julian Erosa, handing Christian Rodriguez a loss. Shout out Juicy J.
I knew that fight was gonna be good.
Abdul Hazak Al Hassan versus Cody Brunch, ending in a no contest. Abdul Hazak Al Hassan,
devastating.
Pissed, dude. He was pissed all week. He was pissed all week, bro. Did you see him talk about Dricus?
Really?
Yeah. So somebody asked him. He's like, "All right, you're from." So as somebody he's from Ghana, so he's from an African nation, right? And he
shout out Ghana, by the way.
Yeah, shout out Ghana. And he talked about how like somebody asked him, like, "What do you think about the whole situation with Dricus saying he's gonna be the real African champion?" And then he went off on him. He's like, "You know what? That's how you know that motherfucker had a good life, and he's never had to struggle like most Africans, because most Africans would know. And I love my country, but it is kind of a shithole at times, and it's kind of a shithole in a lot of different areas. And if he was a real African, he would know that you don't say that sort of shit up to somebody who left Africa to pursue opportunities." And I'm like, damn, dude, I did not expect that take from Abdulrazak Al Hassan.
Respect.
That's what I thought too. I was like, dude,
respect.
Even he basically said the same thing that I said on the pod like a year ago, dude. Like almost word for word. I was like, you know what? And then like there were people who pretended to misunderstand his point, like the whole, I just hate that whole fucking Dricus feud, honestly. But anyways, unfortunate, no contest here.
And I feel like the Dricus thing has been twisted too, Joe. Because I feel like when he said it, it was more of a pride of like him trying to say like I feel like what he was trying to say is like I'm truly representing the continent because I'm fighting out of it and you guys aren't.
Correct. But at the same time,
but there's also context to that as into what are Dricus circumstances within the country.
Exactly.
So there's a lot to it. There's layers to it, but I feel like it's a thing that blew up a lot more than probably what he expected.
Dude, look, it's funny because we were talking about we were talking about like grade school stuff earlier. And I remember, funnily enough, 6th grade, we had to do country projects. Dude, South Africa for a long time.
By the way, what was your country? I remember
South Africa.
Oh, wait,
South Africa. From where Dricus is from. And I learned so much about like apartheid and all that shit. It's like, dude, no shit, Dricus. You were a white man growing up in apartheid South Africa, dude. No shit. You felt like you didn't have to flee to go somewhere else.
Whenever you were looking into
or
it,
like,
have you ever seen like the literal divide, where like this side is how these people live?
Yeah.
And then there's this other side where it's a nice society.
Yeah, it's like how the other half lives, dude.
What does it remind me of? I know I've seen a movie or something like that where like the society is split like that. But regardless.
Yeah. So I look, dude, I like Dricus, but I still think that was such a tone deaf thing to say. And I see why Abdulrazak Al Hassan, a guy who was from Africa, could be like, you know what, fuck you, dude. Like, you were living in like the best of circumstances. Of course, you're gonna stay in Africa. Like,
yeah.
So, props to him. We'll see what Abdulrazak Al Hassan, one of the hardest hitting guys, 185, does next.
Oh, they're definitely gonna rebook him, I imagine, right?
I would hope so, but sometimes they're weird about that shit. You know what I mean?
And also, that fight seemed like a loser leaves town fight too.
I agree with you. Maybe they'll get a new lease on life, both of them, because it ended in no contest. I don't know.
True, but Josh, I feel like the real highlight came on the undercard, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree. Because
this one hurt.
This one hurt.
But you got to give credit where credit is due, because Charles Johnson, Josh, when it comes to flyweight, he is one of the guys that they throw a lot of your young guys at test, because he had Jake Hadley, right?
Jake Hadley. Oh yeah. So he beat him.
He fought Mohammed Makayev, right?
Yes, he nearly beat him.
And now he fought.
And the guy before this, he fought a guy who was from.
Was it Japanese fighter?
No. No, this guy was like Uzbekistan, I think, or some shit.
Oh my god.
Maybe I'm misremembering.
You could be right. And now he took on Joshua Van. We'll look at his record here real quick and get the proper
And
information.
he upset that guy. He handed.
Oh, he beat my boy Azim Maksum.
Yeah, that's who I'm thinking of. Azat Muksum. He's beat 3 straight prospects. Is that not badass?
Yep.
Charles Johnson out of St. Louis.
Oh, he didn't fight Muhammad Makayev. I thought he did. My bad.
I think we're thinking of somebody else, but that's okay. But Charles Johnson, dude, coming from behind, knockout win. I gotta be honest with you. I have to admit it on here on the show, live on air. It was the Josh curse.
By the way, that was we gotta get like I said, we gotta give credit. That was a very bet move. He knew he was down on the cards. He knew he had to come out there and get this kid out of there, and he fucking did that against a kid who was putting hands on him. He was putting down,
looking fucking good.
Joshua Van's hands look fucking great in that fight. I was like, dude, this is it. This is Joshua Van's coming. But now we got fraud checked, Angel.
He's a fraud, Angel.
You know what's crazy? I actually didn't see any fraud checks for that. Did you, by any chance?
I actually didn't either, surprisingly. But I expected to.
So shout out to the people for not doing it this time. But I felt for the kid. Shout out for the ref because you saw he jumped in really quickly. He recognized, we have a young guy here. Let's make sure he doesn't take any extra damage. Because I felt like maybe if it was a different guy, maybe he would have let it go a little bit more. Yeah. I think I got to give credit because they went in there real quick and took care of Josh Van. Yeah. And look, for Joshua Van, dude, you're like, what, 22, 21? Yeah,
exactly.
You're chilling, man. It sucks to get knocked out, but I bet he learned a lot. He's ready for his next fight. And I can't wait to see him.
Yeah. He'll come back strong. He's still the real deal. I'm happy I didn't see any fraud checks. I was just fucking around because that's what happens anytime anybody loses.
And Josh, still talking about the youth. I highlighted her last week. I know she did not get the W. Yep. But holy fuck, did you see the potential? Did you see the toughness? Did you see the heart? Fatima Klein, did her best in there against Jasmine Jasudavicius, and they started throwing down in there, bro. Yeah, they started throwing down. They had the crowd going with them. Shout out both these guys. They put on a great show.
Jasmine Jasudavicius, low key, became one of my favorite fighters in the UFC. As far as women,
she's a sleeper.
She's never had a belt important fight. If you look at all her fights, they've all been pretty fucking entertaining. Yep.
And I think for Fatima, I don't know if this was short notice or not, but I think it's just a matter of her being young, early in her career. And I mean, she was fighting a ranked fighter in the UFC in her first UFC fight.
It's very rare,
So yeah, getting thrown at the wolves, but
it is what it is.
You guys will see. Give Fatima Klein.
Give her some time. She'll come back.
This girl has more than a 10-year career ahead of her.
Oh yeah. We got to get some props. Montel Jackson getting Damon Blackshear out of there with the quickness.
Fuck, dude. Montel Jackson, sleeper run happening before our eyes.
I know. It was funny. We talked about it last week. This guy, he'd gotten 4 wins in a row heading in this one, including over 7,000-year-old Ronnie Yahya. And that fight was last year. Came back a year later, got another knockout win. 5 wins in a row. 8, actually, not only 5 wins in a row, 8 of his last 9 being victories. The only loss of Brett Johns in 2020. This kid's the real deal, man. Montel Jackson, 32 years old.
Josh, can we look at the state of 135? I think this accounts for a 135 ranked opponent. Montel Jackson, I want it next.
I'm happy you're saying that. I completely agree. What do you think? Pedro Munoz?
Can I get a little scrolling? It's a bit
go ahead
rough,
and
right?
Zoom as well, and I'll go up for you.
Pedro Munoz. Who else do we have there?
Jonathan Martinez, Dom Cruz, Mario Bautista, Kyler Phillips, Umar Nurmagomedov.
Kyler Phillips, Rob Fun are all good options. Anybody ranked, man? Fuck it.
Anybody below Jose Aldo, I'd say.
Yeah.
I'd be down for him against Pedro Munoz. They use Pedro as like the gatekeeper of sorts.
Yeah.
I think that's perfect.
And that'd be just enough to break into the rankings.
Yes, sir.
Oh, wait, 32 years old.
Doesn't seem that way either.
Like not a late peak, but like I guess a later peak.
I feel like for most bantamweights, I'd say.
But the thing is, it kind of has to happen now, though. If we want to see, it kind of has to happen now. Yeah. Hopefully, maybe he fights December time on Connor card.
That'd be done.
Gets the opportunity.
I like that.
Yeah.
Maybe main card opening slot. We'll see. Mm-hmm. Luana Santos choking out Maria Agapova. I got to eat some crow on this show, man. I mean, I've hyped up a lot of people over the years. Maria Agapova, I really thought that she'd come to the UFC, and I didn't think she'd be a champion, but I thought she'd be a very fun gal to have who put on fun fights.
From 10-2 to now 10-5.
Yeah, 9-1 to 10-5, man. I mean, she's struggled a lot. Three submission losses in a row. This fight ended a 2-year layoff for her, where she talked about how she couldn't get the UFC to make her fights, and she had injuries and all this shit, and it's unfortunate, man. There have been people I've hit on and people I've missed on. She's not as bad of a miss as some other people we've talked about, both on air, on off air.
Who do you think is your biggest miss?
I'm not going to rule out. I kind of said Kay Hansen for a minute because of everything, but she's still so young that I can't write her off, and she's got to win Invicta and so on and so forth. I'd probably say Alicia Zapatella. I don't know if she's ever going to fight again. She's getting married now. I told you about this off air. Like, but she switched to the last update I gave you. She's with this new guy now, and now they just
how old is she?
She's in her prime. She's like 27 or 28.
Okay.
So she's like she
I mean, granted, all
been with this
that
guy
stuff
for like 3 months, and now they just got married, and now they're having a kid. And I'm like, that's how you know somebody's
respect.
Like that's when you know they're kind of done. It's like, all right.
Yeah, I mean, there's just no way she'll come back now.
Yeah, I thought she could have gone to the UFC, maybe been a contender at 115. No,
I feel, but I mean, she's truly an atomweight though.
She's truly an atomweight, but at the same time, like I believe she has fought at 115 before and had good success. Yeah, so it is what it is. I've been wrong on some Invicta people, but also there's some people where I was like, yo, I was back in 2018, be like, yo, Aaron Blanchfield is the shit. So that worked out. That worked out, bro. I gotta say it.
Aaron Blanchfield's stock was crazy.
Like just bullseye, motherfucker. All right, so
I don't know who my best call has been ever. I feel like there's a lot of guys that I've seen. Maybe I didn't hype up, but I was like, this person has.
You know what's funny? I talked to you about how the guy I know at work is a jiu-jitsu black belt. I told him about how you were talking about Weili Zhang from like 2018. You're like, yo, this chick's like 18-1. Like, do you remember all the way back? That was a good pick because you were talking about before she made her debut against Jessica Aguilar, I think.
Sometimes you just see it, dude. When people fight, you just fucking see it.
Yeah, they just got it.
Ilya had that too very early on. I just wasn't 100% set on it.
Yeah,
but like. Dude, because I remember when he got announced against Ryan Hall, like I love my boy Ryan Hall, but I was I was hoping for the best.
Yeah.
But I remember like I didn't admit it, but I was like I knew. Yeah. Like I didn't want to admit it to myself, but I knew. I was like, fuck.
Ryan's fucked.
Yeah, I mean I did. I knew it. I knew the guy because the guy had I knew he had power. I knew he could strike. He had everything.
Yeah.
Dude, another guy that I hyped up our boy Michel Pereira, bro. Like people didn't think he was gonna be ranked. People didn't think he was going to have a successful career.
Well, to be fair,
they thought he was going to be a circus fighter.
To be fair, he came in, he knocked out,
I can't remember. But he had a knockout.
British dude, black guy. I can't think of his name right now. He fought Mike Perry too, put on a banger. I feel really bad because I was around for a long time. I don't think he's in the UFC anymore, but then he lost to Tristan Connolly, who was like a featherweight. He stepped in on like 2 days' notice. Like he really, he struggled at the start. So I get what people wouldn't say about him, but he's tightened it up and he stopped fucking around as much. He still fucks around, just not as much, But anyways, just kind of finish wrapping up. Andre Petrosky defeating Josh Fromm. Good win for him to get back in the win column. Evan Alder defeating Darius Flowers by submission, opening up the card. And
quick one, and then us getting put to sleep.
No,
a fight later.
Yeah, that's true.
By the way, he already has a fight lined up?
Who?
Petrosky.
Oh, who's he fighting?
It got announced yesterday. Someone that I do not know, sadly.
I will say he's active as fuck. If you look at his UFC career, okay, so he debuted in August of 2021, fought 2 months later. After that, he fought 6 months after that, fought another 6 months after that.
By the way, that's not even including the tough fights in there.
Correct. So he fought twice in 2023. He's already fought twice this year. So he's active. I think he knows time's kind of ticking. 33.
We came to the UFC at 30 years old. He didn't have a crazy amount of fights going into tough.
Yeah,
I mean, he's maximized, and he has a family. Like he's doing what he has to do to take care of his family.
He's going the old Dylan Butka in September. UFC fight.
He's a guy that is still like I still kind of think like maybe he could piece it together.
That's the way I feel too. His grappling
it's a fucking grind. Like it's gonna be a fucking grind. He's gonna have to walk through hell for it. I don't know. Do you know the Winston Churchill quote? It's like if sometimes you gotta walk through hell or something like that.
I think I know what you're talking about.
To get out of it. I can't remember. But
Churchill had some bangers back.
But he has a quote like that, and I feel like that's something that a lot of guys need to do in the UFC, but maybe aren't willing to do.
Yeah, I agree. Anyways, man, look, this UFC Denver card was okay. It wasn't because I wanted it to be, but I will say I think I say it every time there's a UFC Apex card that I kind of like. I feel like half the time they always end up turning out shit. But dude, I think this UFC Apex card could be okay. There are some names I like on this one, and I don't want to say I have high hopes, but I'm like, all right, there's some things to watch here. So here we go, boys. UFC Vegas 94 from the UFC Apex in Las Vegas, Nevada. Mark Zuckerberg will be in attendance for this one. No, fucking.
Yeah, from the metaverse.
Yeah, exactly. Dude, you know how big this card was? They didn't reveal the poster until this week. They revealed the main event 2 weeks ago. So there we go. Look, man, Amanda Lemos, long-time contender, beat Mackenzie Dern in February of 298. There was a banger of a fight prior to that. She lost to our girl Wei Lee, taking on Verna Jandiroba, 36 years young, former Invicta champion. It feels like she gets close to the top level and just can't get over the hump. Yeah. However, she's won 3 in a row. Angela Hill, Marina Rodriguez, Lupe Godinez. Bangers in there, my friend. So now she's getting the chance to, I believe this is her first or second UFC main event. Let me just double check. I'm going to be irritated if I think I'm first UFC main event. Okay. For Verna Jandiroba. Who do you got on this one? It's really that simple. I mean, I really don't, I'm not going to.
I think the fight itself is good.
I agree with you. It's just not main event worthy.
It's just not main event worthy. Fuck, this is a hard one for me. I haven't thought too much about it for obvious reasons. but I can admit to myself, Josh, it is a good fight.
I don't hate it.
Yeah. Let's not fuck around about that. I feel like for the weight class, it's one of the best fights you could probably make.
I agree with you.
I feel like if Verna Jandiroba can take down Amanda Lemos and control her a lot through 5 rounds, she's probably got this in the bag.
That's what I'm thinking.
Amanda Lemos' game, obviously, keep it on the feet, strike out, keep. That's where she's gonna find. That's gonna be her wheelhouse.
Yeah,
I feel like that's kind of where these 2 guys are gonna win their fight. I feel like if Verna wants to try to get into a striking match with Amanda Lemos, it's not gonna work out in her favor. No. At this point in her career, it seems like Verna Jandiroba has that fight maturity.
Correct.
And I think she knows what she needs to do now at this point to win these fights, especially at this level, because she knows what's on the line and it's a fucking title shot. Because especially this division that needs contenders.
Yeah.
Because if not, Whaley's gonna start having fucking rematches. It's like if she gets there, she's gonna break through.
Yeah.
So for me, I'm gonna go Verna Jandiroba. I want the mix up. I think she can get it done. But at the same time, I wouldn't be surprised if we got some crazy Amanda Lemos knockout.
I agree with you. I could see Lemos picking up the win. I think if Jandiroba gets to the mat, I think it's kind of Rafsky, man.
I feel like she can sub her and control her.
Yeah, she's so good on the mat. And I really think Amanda Lemos, even on the feet, man, I really feel like the gap between Verna and Amanda on the feet isn't as big as it is on the mat. You know what I mean? I think if it goes to the ground, I just have a lot of respect for Verna Jandiroba's ground game. So I'm going to go ahead and take her to get the nod. Co-main event, long time middleweight contender, or contender's maybe not the right word. Gatekeeper, I guess.
Yeah.
Brad Tavares, 20-9, long-time ranked guy. We know the resume, all the guys he's fought. Taking on Jun Young, excuse me.
By the way,
out of South Korea.
He fought a former UFC champion, Chris Weidman.
That's right. He did beat Chris Weidman. Weidman did not have a signature eye pokes out for that one, though. So I think if he had those one, it would have been a completely different story. Just saying. Jun Young Park, man, kind of like a teetering guy in the UFC. He beats a lot of guys who are kind of lower tier guys. I mean, if you look at his resume,
he had a little run going there, Josh.
He did. He beat Eric Anders, Ugly Man, Joe Holmes, no longer in the UFC, Dennis Tutelin, who I believe also no longer in the UFC, unless I'm wrong.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Albert Duriev, I think in the UFC, but not a top level guy by any means. He did lose to Andre Muniz last time out in December.
Split.
But, yeah, both these guys coming off losses, both trying to get back into the win column. Who do you got, Angel, in the co-main event of UFC Vegas 94?
I'm gonna go Brad Tavares on this one, Josh.
Yeah, I'm in full agreement with you. I really don't have. I mean, for me personally, I think he's just better. He's faced more guys at the top level. He's proven that he's more of a top level guy on the feet. I feel like he's a cleaner striker, and he also has just a ridiculous chin.
But he is facing the Iron Turtle.
He is. So, I like this card, but I really don't. It's funny. I like this card. I don't give a shit about the top 2 fights.
I know, because you really care about this fight, Josh.
Steve Garcia, the mean machine. Steve Garcia, out of New Mexico, Albuquerque's finest. If you don't count John Jones.
How have his last few fights gone? Can you scroll down to that?
He's got all bangers, man.
I was about to say he's won the last 3.
4 of his last 5 have been wins, and all of which have come by knockout. All right, taking on Choi Sung-woo, a striker out of South Korea, who came to UFC with some decent success. But look. He had some losses in there. Alex Caceres in there. Rebound with a win in Singapore last August.
He's no Doo Ho Choi.
No, he is not. Who we'll talk about in a minute.
His last fight, if I remember, was pretty good. He beat Jarno Ennis, Dutch guy.
Yeah, correct. Good fight. Good win for him. Snatched a 3-fight losing streak. That should be a banger, an excellent striking match. Kurt Holobaugh taking on Kyan Krasinski. Apologize.
I don't know too much. I don't know anything about his opponent.
I don't either, but we obviously know Kurt Holobaugh, multiple UFC stints as far back as like 2011 at this point.
He's a crowd pleaser. He's a crowd pleaser, though.
He is. He's a crowd pleaser.
But Josh, this is actually the actual fight you care about.
This is the fight I really care about, man. Duho Choi, who at one point was seen as like a UFC prospect, maybe even future champion, came in. He won multiple fights by knockout. At one point, he's 14-1. He faced Cub Swanson. They put on a fight of the year. One of my personal favorite fight of all time is Duho Choi against Cub Swanson.
Is it actually number one for you?
It's my number one, straight up. I remember where like UFC 206 in Canada. I remember going into that card. It was like, yo, this card is ass. And I was like, no, fuck no, dude. You guys aren't paying attention to the main card. The main card is actually really good. It ended up being an incredible main card. They opened up the card, and it was just an incredible fight, man. Both guys got rocked. Both guys nearly got finished. Just back and forth. And that was such a war. I think he's never really recovered. Came back, got knocked out by Jeremy Stevens.
It's crazy because it took him years to come back.
Correct, because I believe he had some injuries in between here. And then after he lost to Charles Jourdain in 2019, he's like, all right, I'm going to do my South Korean mandatory service. Came back in 2023, had a draw with Kyle Nelson, which I thought he should have won that fight.
But he was deducted a point. You see it right there.
Correct.
That's what took him from the fight.
Deducted a point for an accidental headbutt. 9 out of 11. Even with the headbutt, scored the win.
How old is he now?
33.
Fuck.
The Korean, dude, that makes me feel so old. The Korean Superboy is now in his mid-30s. Fuck. Taking on Bill Alguio, though, most known for
hard fight.
Yeah, exactly. He's put on some bangers, dude. I will say, man, the guy always comes forward, always throwing punches. Sure he's a Philadelphia Eagles fan, so I mean, what are you gonna do? But yeah, I mean, put on all bangers. I mean, it should be fun. Coming off a knockout loss to Kyle Nelson, actually, too, by the way. So there you go, common opponent for both these guys. Cody Durden on the prelims against Bruno Da Silva should be fun. I like that. I like Cody Durden, fun guy at the very least. Puts on a fun show. Brian Kelleher coming back with Cody Gibson. Two long-time guys. I agree. Banger. I like
Great matchmaking right there.
I agree. Miranda Maverick, another hyped-up prospect for me personally. Out of Missouri. You know, we know the story. Now ranked. Taking on, originally supposed to face Trace Cortez. Instead, will be facing UC newcomer Dione Barboza.
Dione Barboza.
And she has had 7-2 at this point in her career. Let me pull up her Tapology. The Witch, which low-key kind of I like that name. I like that nickname. Not UC newcomer. Coming off her UC debut, where she scored a decision victory, UC 301.
And her losses aren't that bad. She lost to Josie Nunes and Jenna Bishop, who's a jiu-jitsu ace.
Yeah.
She's at PFL now.
Yeah, correct. Not bad at all. She's won 4 in a row. But this is a big matchup for your second UFC fight.
Oh, yeah.
You know, Miranda Maverick is a real deal, Holyfield. So very interested to see what happens there. And also, Loik, you want to take a shot at that guy's name? Razabov,
yeah.
Razabov. Yeah, this guy's also pretty fun out of Tajikistan, 18-5-1.
This guy has a nation behind him, let me tell you.
He does. Got some decent power as well. Fought in Eagle FC, fought in the PFL. So if you guys have heard him, that's probably why. So that should be fun. Taking on, I believe, Trey Ogden.
He's been around the block.
He has. Luana Carolina taking on Lucy Padavova and Muhammad Usman.
Dude, I like Mo Usman. I don't give a fuck with anybody.
I don't got any beef with Mo Usman. I got no beef.
Dude, can you look up his opponent, bro? Like, look at him. Like,
oh yeah, okay. So we're gonna go to his. This is Mo Usman, just built like a brick shithouse. 35 years young, Fortis MMA, 3-1 in the UFC. Lost to Mick Parkin in a really shitty fight. Thomas Peterson is his opponent. I mean, 29 years old out of Minnesota. He looks like he's from Minnesota. Lost to Jamal Pogues. Also lost to Waldo Cortez Acosta.
Also lost to Chandler Cole.
Yeah, so not...
he beat Chandler
Cole.
Beat our boy Chandler Cole.
This feels like kind of a bounce back for our boy Mo Usman. But we'll see.
Thomas Pearson seems game, though.
Oh, I mean, he got a key lock to win the Contender Series contract, so that's badass.
That's what I'm saying.
I fuck with that. But, Angel, if we're being completely honest, the real event this weekend going down is not an MMA one. It's MMA related, but it's not an MMA one. Ladies and gentlemen, July 20th from Florida, I believe at Tampa, Florida. Jake.
Wait, what was the Fuzzy Tube thing? July 13th?
Hold up.
Oh man, I just thought about that. I'm sorry.
I want to get the exact date. July 15th. July 5th. You made me want to kill myself.
This will go down as one of the greatest dates ever in July history.
Dude, I watched
up there with July 15th.
the whole. I still remember the whole
July 15th
doc.
saga.
Yeah, the whole saga. And at the time, I remember watching like the doc like a few months later, and it's just so
Keemstar?
good. Yeah, it's so good. Anyways, July 20th, not July 15th. July 20th in Tampa, Florida. Jake, the problem child, Paul, taking on Mike,
Florida man.
the Florida man, in his own backyard. God damn it. Mike Platinum Perry, man, former UFC welterweight contender, 14-8's the record. However, more known, he's also 0-1 as a pro boxer, but that's besides the point. Bare knuckle is the real record, man. 5-0 since leaving the UFC in 2021. Win over Julian Lane, win over Michael Venom Page, win over Luke Rockhold by knockout win over Eddie Alvarez, knockout win over Thiago Alves.
Every single fight he's had in BKFC has been against a name.
Exactly, and he's looked fucking good. Coming in here on short notice, originally supposed to be Mike, the legendary Iron Mike Tyson, who's now 58 years old. However,
He will see you at the top.
having some health issues, so he will not be competing. Instead, it'll be Mike Platinum Perry. Look, obviously, Jake, pretty big favorite. I feel like most people kind of agree that this is actually a decent fight, though. Maybe he'll get tested. I really don't know how to feel about it.
I'm just curious. I think the big thing is seeing people are going to fucking hate how I word this because I feel like it's taken out of context, but I'm curious to see Mike Perry's boxing skills.
Yes. Yeah.
Because what he does in BKFC, I don't think he'll be able to fully recreate in the boxing ring. He might be able to take some elements of it and apply them, but it's not going to be the same.
I agree with you. And that very kind of scrappy, come forward style, I do think that is, a way to beat Jake Paul. I mean, now, granted, we saw...
How many rounds do you know by any chance?
8 rounds.
Ooh.
8 rounds.
Okay.
So, and we saw Tommy Fury beat him. Tommy Fury beat him. He is way longer, too. The guy's built like Crash Bandicoot. He has a long as fuck reach, okay? Taller than Jake. He countered a lot. He did a lot of counter. He stayed on the back foot, used his jab a whole lot. Giving the old turkey or all else.
Most definitely,
Yeah.
Mike Perry will get dropped in this fight.
Oh, there's not a doubt in my mind he's hitting the camera.
And he's going to get up.
No, it'll get up again and again and again. No, but the question is just, can he... Honestly, the strategy is basically be Homer Simpson. He has to go out there and take 7,000 punches to the face and hope that Jake gasses. And Jake is probably, I think
Mike Perry will have the better gas tank.
Oh, there's not a doubt in my mind he will.
Yeah.
So for me, and we've seen Jake gas in multiple fights. Not in his more recent fights. I'd say against Nate, he looks good.
He's learned how to manage it better, I think. I think it's been... I don't think it was so much a conditioning thing, but managing the tank in the fight.
Correct. And the issue is like, how much can you manage it against a guy like Mike Perry who's going to be coming forward the entire time?
Not even just that, but also the added weight too this time.
Well, and it's not like, so for example, like Nate Diaz came forward against him, but Nate doesn't throw punches like that.
Yeah.
Mike Perry's he has the power and the cardio to throw punches at you for 8 rounds to take your head off.
Do we know glove size by any chance?
Just normal. You know what I mean? Just,
10 ounces?
Yeah. So
okay, I'm just making sure.
No, yeah, like everything's normal outside of the fact that it's 8.
I know, maybe
8 instead of 10.
Maybe they went in. Maybe they did 4 ounce.
No, everything's normal except that it's 8 rounds instead of 10 because of the short notice.
Let's go, champ.
So, look, official prediction. I'm going to take Jake Paul. I mean, I think that's the realistic option.
Yeah.
Now, I'll preface this by saying, would I love to see Mike Perry go out there and knock this kid's fucking block off? Oh, 100%.
I feel like it's either going to be a early knockout or a very late knockout.
Yeah, not a doubt. Yeah. That's the way I feel like. I feel like it's either going to be Jake coming out early, just catching him when they're both early in the fight, maybe the first, second round, or Mike Perry's going to make this a dog fight and take it.
And I said, I feel like if they allow each other to do it, they could make this a banger fight. Like, they could both go to war. He could bring out a Jake, and Mike Perry's going to bring it anyway.
Oh, yeah. Like, come on. So, it's on pay-per-view. It's on his own pay-per-view. If you guys want to watch it, I'll be tweeting up all that shit. But I'm excited, man. I'm excited. It should be more fun. I mean, dude, if you look at like Jake Paul since last August, honestly, since he lost to Tommy, I haven't really cared. He had the Nate fight, which I think everybody kind of knew. I mean, Nate Diaz, he blew him up to like 200 pounds, bro. Like, he fights at 155, 170. And then he fought 2 guys who had, had to combine 2 fights in the last 8 years. You know what I mean? So it's just like who were pro boxers, So we'll see though, man. We'll see what happens. I am more excited for this fight than a lot of his recent ones though. And I think if Mike Perry can get the win, That'd be fucking. I'd love that, dude. I'd love that. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. Also on the undercard, man, we can give quick thoughts on this one. It seems like they're setting up that Jake Paul, Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. fight. He was really supposed to fight Darren Till. Instead, he's going to be fighting Uriah Hall, which I think is a much better matchup for Junior. Honestly, give me your thoughts on that one. That's the co-main event, I believe. Well, excuse me, men's rounds.
I mean, shout out to Uriah Hall for putting himself out there and still want to compete, right? And Junior, I mean, I say it every time. What a fall!
Yeah, man.
What a fall!
What a fall! Yeah. I mean, there was a point in time whenever people kind of misremember the Junior story a little bit different. Like everybody kind of has like their own personal view, but I feel like a lot of people just misremember it a little bit wrong. There was one point where he was a bad motherfucker. He was a straight up bad motherfucker who was like 49-1.
He had that banger fight with oh man, I see his face.
I know the exact fight you're talking about too.
I see the fucking guy's face, and I can't say his name.
So he was a former WBC middleweight champion. He had Sergio Martinez.
I knew it started with an S.
And I tell people this every single time Junior comes up. At that point, he was 46-0-1. He beat Andy Lee, a couple other good guys. Go watch that fight because he got his ass kicked for the first 10 rounds. And he starts coming back. In round 12, he drops Martinez bad. And it's one of the loudest crowd reactions I've ever seen. People fucking wanted to like the guy.
He felt just that short.
He felt that short from getting the knockout win. And then he had some rebounds. He fought, Fundora, but light heavyweight kind of went down. Remember that Canelo fight on fucking.
And then Canelo beat the shit out of him for
I know,
12 rounds.
I know. And I think it was the Team Old Arena's like first big show too. And like they were like hyping it up. I remember some people picked Chavez Jr. because they're like, yo, he's so much bigger. He's former champion. He's got all this accolades. And after that fight, it looked like that fight he just didn't give a fuck. And then after that, that's whenever everything went downhill. But I think he's still probably good enough to beat our boy Uriah Hall. But I'm happy Uriah's putting himself out there. That's cool. It's funny we mentioned so that's all the thoughts I got on the card, man. It's funny because we're never gonna go to the news. We just mentioned Nate Diaz. Nate Diaz, fresh off a win over Jorge Masvidal in the boxing ring. He's now suing one of the promoters of the fight, Fanmio, who apparently contacted him for this fight. They said they would give him $1 million up front and then $9 million on the back end. The CEO apparently told Nate, hey, buddy, we did not make that much money. So, and also my wife will leave me. So, tough shit. That's no bullshit. That's apparently, according to Nate's team, the guy told him. He tried to guilt trip him. He's like, yo, my wife's going to leave me if I give you any more money. I don't have money. So, suing for $9 million, Fanmio has already come out and said that it's not true and that they paid Nate, yada, yada, yada. What do you make of all this?
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Also, like the fact that like Nate took that deal of like we'll give you $1 million now and then $9 million later is kind of.
I'm asking for half.
I don't even. I would have been like, give me 5 now and give me 5 later.
Yeah, exactly. Let's do half up front. Or let's do 3 up front.
Or 4 and 4 or something. You gotta,
3.5, something. I don't know.
Yeah, it was kind of. I don't know. I wouldn't have taken that deal like that.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know what he expected. Honestly, I genuinely don't. Because, dude, Fanmio. They're companies like this pop up. Like I always make fun of Triller because they're the most memorable. But companies pop up like this all the time. They want to promote boxing matches. They don't have any fucking clue on how money works or anything like that. So, and how promotion works and anything, So they probably did pretty decent on the night of, but I don't think on the gate and all that shit because they did pack the house. But pay per view, I don't think they did too well. They probably didn't make a whole lot of money. I actually believe the guy, So.
Yeah. I mean, once you have to pay everybody back, all the employees, all that, all the money you spend promoting it, paying obviously paying the athletes, and then commission, right? Because you literally have to pay to sanction a fight too, right?
That's correct. Yes.
That's another thing. All of that production. I mean, so much.
Renting out the Honda Center is not cheap.
Exactly.
So it's a lot of stuff. Hopefully Nate gets paid. But this shows you why you do business with companies that are well established. This is why you fight for a PFL, a UFC. You work with a Golden Boy, maybe not Golden Boy. You work with Matchroom. You work with Frank Warren.
Eddie Hearn.
Yeah, exactly.
Riyadh season.
Dude. Hey, buddy, Turkey has never stiffed anybody on a payment. That's all I'm saying. Shout out Turkey Outlaw Sheik.
Ryzen?
His Excellency. I've heard. Yeah, exactly. Another
shit. Ryzen played Floyd, bro. Clearly, they can pay.
They can pay. They're worth it, bro. They're worth it. This is the next bigger story. This is the bigger story. This is a story that like I cannot believe that more people didn't talk about this, but I guess it's just because it's like same shit another day.
He's
you know?
fucking back, Josh. He's back, baby.
Yeah, if there were any doubts that John Jones is back in training,
He's in his prime again.
John Jones is back in training. He looks great. If there were any doubts that John Jones is a professional fighter is fucking back, it's that he got arrested earlier this week for 2 misdemeanors relating to assault and I think it was like, I can't remember the exact. It's like a communications charge because he stole this lady's phone. So back in March, and I got to say there were a couple people in our comment section at the time that got mad at us for saying this, but in March, because John released a video or whatever, but in March he was accused by 2 drug-free sport employees of threatening to kill them, threatening to assault them, threatening to sue them, and then he also apparently took one of their phones and was recording them, and a whole bunch of shit. At the time, they filed a police report and said that the UFC had told them not to file a police report and that they wanted to talk to drug-free sport and they kind of wanted to keep a whole lid on this whole situation. They did not do that. They decided.
If I remember right, the girl went to her supervisor and tried to figure things out, and then the supervisor said not to do anything because they had just started this relationship with the UFC,
which is a great look. Great look. She went and filed the police report anyways, and we heard silence for a bit. John, to his credit, released a video showing himself talking with the people kind of cordially and even high-fiving one of them, showing him off his property and his big New Mexico estate. Look, man, we heard nothing until this week when we found out he is being charged with 2 misdemeanors, one of them being assault, another being a failure. It's like a communication charge, like I said, because he took the phone. He's not released a statement, but he's facing up to a year in jail and then also a couple $1,000s in fines. It's like that DC clip. It's like the Daniel Cormier clip. Your behavior dictates that you are not going to change. And here we are, 10 years after that, and he still has not changed. Angel, give me your thoughts.
Do you think that they I don't know. Will this go to court? I don't know exactly how this shit all fucks.
So John has a lengthy legal record, as we are aware of.
And this is why I'm asking this question.
However, he is also a rich, wealthy man, and we know what happens with those people. He's basically gotten probation consistently up until now. His wife, fiance, refused because they've been fiancés for like the last 14 years. But she refused to press charges after calling the cops on him whenever he allegedly beat the shit out of her in a Las Vegas hotel about 2 years ago now. A bit under 2 years ago. So he hasn't really been charged for a lot of the crimes. He's faced probation. He's had little minor stints.
This is why I'm asking. Do you think this is finally the time where a judge looks at the track record and they're like, John,
we're giving you 6 months? No.
Clearly probation's not enough.
I could see him getting... They're going to give him the Floyd at max. At max, they'll give him the Floyd. Floyd, whenever he beat the shit out of his wife, got 90 days in jail. I think that's the maximum.
Dude, could you imagine if they lined it up for the date that he would have to fight?
Well, dude, I remember a couple of years ago whenever he failed the tests. What was it? Whenever he failed for the second DC fight, they're like, oh shit, you're going to get suspended for 4 years. And then he ratted on a bunch of people, so it got reduced to 1.5 years. And the UFC was like, oh shit, when's John coming back? November 14th? Shit, we got a card November 16th in New York or some shit.
That works out perfectly.
Perfect, like they would totally do that. But I got the dates a little bit wrong. There you go, what I'm saying. Yeah, man. Look, it's almost like I don't know what to say about this, man. I mean, like it is what it is. He is who he is, and he's not going to change.
He was doing so well.
Well, that's the thing, right?
He was on his best behavior, Josh.
Well, that's exactly it, right? Like he's on his best behavior for a year. And then he does it again, and it's like, man, you're getting into you're gonna be 40 soon, bro. Like live your life. Like you could be like, I think you'd be like the Ric Flair. You know what I mean? Like Ric Flair's like 75, he still goes out drinking, but you don't hear stories from Ric Flair that often doing crazy shit. You know what I mean?
Okay, so I'll put it like this. The thing about Ric Flair is they're very underground. Stories. Now, granted, I am not gonna.
I've heard some of them. I'm not gonna repeat them.
Yeah, I'm not
even
gonna.
Then, those are from like whenever he's like decades ago.
True, but Rick is still out there, still partying. I don't know. I've never looked into him too much.
Yeah.
Ric Flair
was not the best example to use, honestly, thinking about it.
Yeah, so we're not gonna put him out there.
But there are old men who do party and keep their shit together. John Jones is not one of those guys.
Yeah.
He can't keep his shit together.
Well, like this, within recent years, we haven't heard any Ric Flair stories.
Yeah, I'll put it like that. Within a while. So, but you get my point here. He can't keep his shit together whenever he drinks. And
also, Ric Flair is like geriatric age.
That's my point, though. Like there are guys who are geriatric age who can party and drink and do all that shit and keep their lives together. You know what I mean? John Jones is not one of those guys, man. Like, we heard how he was sober for like a year, and then what happened? Like a couple months ago, we started seeing videos of him out at the bar taking some shots. Now we got this misdemeanor thing, and apparently they were like, "Yo, he's totally drunk." Whenever he was talking to us, so it was just, it's terrible. I hope he gets his shit together, man, because I don't like John Jones, and I'm not gonna do the whole rehab. I'm not gonna rehab his image. You know what I mean? Like, I said that whenever the whole situation happened last September after the Hall of Fame. I'm not going to be the guy to rehab his image, but at the same time, I don't want the motherfucker to die.
Or was that the September?
It was 2 Septembers ago. 2 Septembers ago.
2 years ago.
So I'm not going to be the guy to fucking rehab his image, but at the same time, I don't want the motherfucker to die either. And like, that's the trajectory he's on, is to have some bad shit happen where he's not going to be able to slip out of.
I feel like if he like loses legitimately, it could be very bad for him.
I agree. But also, even if he doesn't lose, like,
it'd still be bad. But can you imagine John after a loss?
It'd be bad. It'd be real bad.
Exactly.
But yeah, man, I don't have too much.
And Josh is like, that's why Stipe Miocic. No, just kidding.
Stipe Miocic, you got it. No, anyway, so
coming for you, Stipe.
Do you think this? So he's fighting Stipe in November. Do you think this will impact it at all?
In what sense?
Will he not fight Stipe Miocic in November?
Josh, that will be up to a judge in Albuquerque, New Mexico, to make that decision, because that's really what it's going to be.
Well, his bond hearing is tomorrow, so
we'll find out
how serious they think it is, I guess.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. That's why I brought up. That's why I posed the question to you.
Gotcha.
Is this the time where a judge finally looks back and is like, well, John, you have this, and we put you on probation several times.
Yeah.
And nothing has changed in the past decade.
Yeah. Realistically, what will happen? Here's the thing. Nothing ever happens. Nothing happens. Like, people like.
So do you think they'll just fine him and put him on probation?
Correct. When it was like a big political thing that happened recently that I'm not going to get into for terms of service and all that.
Mm-hmm.
People are like, oh my God, that happened, and I'm like, dude, he's gonna be fine. Nothing happens. You know what happened? That guy was fine. Nothing ever happens. It's just shit. Nothing ever happens. Nothing changes. John Jones is gonna be fine here. I'm not that worried about it. I want him to get his shit together, but I don't think it's gonna happen. So I don't think he'll get his shit together until he does have something really bad happen. Maybe even then, that'll just cause him to spiral.
Maybe he needs like an Antonio Brown, moment. Like, he needs to move in with DC and live in his little house outside.
Dude, the clip of him talking to DC on the phone is like the most awkward 90 seconds of my life.
It was like a big fuck you to both of them, because it's like, I have to be nice.
They both did not want to be there. But anyways, hopefully John gets his shit together.
Hey John, how you doing? Hey DC.
Hey DC, how you doing, brother? It's just like,
yeah, motherfucker. That's how they feel.
Yeah. Anyways, man, guys who have gotten their shit together, or at least one guy, Rampage Jackson. Shout out Rampage. Love the Jackson podcast. I'm happy Rampage is back in the MMA community, man. One of the most entertaining guys, and very happy he's back. He's been trying to get a fight for a minute. He's in talks to fight Daryl Schoonover, Titties from Tough. Did not happen. He's in talks to fight Shannon the Cannon Briggs.
Let's go, champ. Let's go, champ. Let's go.
Did not happen. Set for Qatar in July. Did not happen. Fake promoters. It was a whole thing. And however, this is actually
was the promoter CNN.
Yeah, apparently. So this is
pretty shadow van now. Fucking sorry.
They offered me a lot of money. I did not take the money. I don't take the donor money. Anyway, so we have Rampage Jackson with a real. I don't know if you would call them a real promoter, but anyway, they're a real fight organization.
Josh.
They're a real fight. Oh, fuck them, dude. You know what's up. Whenever they go out of business, I'll tell that story one day. I can't wait. This is the day after they go out of business.
Your tell all.
My Rampage Jackson tell all. No, my one championship one tell. My one championship tell all. However, Rampage Jackson, Rashad Evans 2, a boxing match apparently in talks for one championship 169, November 8th, Atlanta, Georgia, on a scale of 1 to 10, Angel, before we bounce out of here. Give me your quick impressions. Do you want to see it? Scale 1 to 10. What's your interest level, man?
Yes, and yes. It's kind of weird because they're cooler now, so it's kind of weird that they want to fight it.
Look, man, I think they both realize this is some money they can make. They're in the final stage of their career. This may be the final fight.
This is one of the last times these guys are going to fight.
Correct.
If not the last.
Yeah. And I think it was, funnily enough, actually Demetrius Johnson, DJ, who upset this up. Rampage went on DJ's podcast, and they talked a lot about one championship. And he's like, if you're trying to get a fight, I can hook up you with one championship, and we'll see what happens.
And hopefully it does happen.
Yeah, I'd be down as fuck. I'm gonna give this an 8 out of 10. An 8 DTFs out of 10.
By the way, if Rampage would fight one more former opponent, who would you want him to fight?
Former opponent.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to think about who's in his age range, who's still active, competing. Rashad would be up there, but come on, man. They're 2-2. Vanderlei Silva. Fuck it. Give me Vanderlei 5, baby.
The remains of Vanderlei.
Fuck it, dude. Yeah, I don't give a shit.
Is that like Rampage cares?
Dude, their fourth fight in Bellator in like 2018 where they were both like 40 or whatever was still a banger because they hate each other so much. Like just, I love it, dude. I love it. So yeah, if you're giving me the option, I'm saying
I feel like that one isn't too possible. I feel like for some reason I don't think they do it. But if you could think of one more, just because I'm curious if there's another name.
John Jones. No, no, I'd have to pull up his record actually real quickly, and then we'll see.
I'm curious what old legend would be like. You know something? I'm down for that one. Yeah, the soccer Rob. No, I was kidding.
Oh, jeez, dude, Sakuraba needs to fucking not do anything ever again. You know what?
Ryan Bader.
I wouldn't hate Ryan Bader.
Ryan Bader.
Yeah, I think that's probably my pick. If I can't go with Vanderlei, and he's already fighting Rashad,
like
I go
your
Ryan
top
Bader.
3. You know,
I go Ryan Bader because hypothetically, if we would beat Ryan Bader, boom, Bellator title shot.
I got you with another one.
Actually, he's still
King Mo.
He's still the Bellator.
They could totally make a King Mo
trilogy.
Fight.
Yeah, trilogy. Yeah,
they could totally do a King
actually.
Mo fight. I feel like 100% one could definitely pay those guys to do that.
I agree with you.
And I'm pretty sure he doesn't like King Mo.
No, they still don't like.
Oh, yeah, he calls him Queen Ho.
Queen Ho.
Queen Ho.
Yeah, fuck it, dude. Hey, dude, Rampage versus King Mo, the trilogy. Fuck it.
Yeah.
If he can't get Rashad for whatever reason, there you go.
Right, he's going on a run, vengeance.
Dude, oh my god, I'm happy Rampage is back, man. I'd love to see him fight anybody.
He's on his Batman arc.
That's all I got, man. Anything else you want to talk about before we go close out of here, bro?
No, that's it, man. I'm happy. I really hope that Rampage fight does happen.
Me too, man. I want to see him back.
By the way,
he's been talking about it for a long time.
Is next week the pay-per-view?
Yes, sir. UFC 304, Manchester, England.
It doesn't even feel real. The return of Below. Well, this is his return, actually.
Hey, it looks like you remembered the name, my friend. It looks like you remembered the name.
Bilal, remember the decision, Muhammad.
Fucking dude, I want Bilal to win so fucking bad. I'm gonna be honest. I love both. I actually love Leon a lot. You know me.
I think
forever.
If the UFC would self-implode if that happened.
I think if Bilal Muhammad won UFC gold, I think we might see Dana White literally commit seppuku at the fucking press conference, dude.
He would. I can't use the word because this word is a key word.
He would unalive himself.
No. He would try to delete Bilal Muhammad.
You think he'd call it in? He'd be like, "Yo, Biden, I need a favor from you. I need you to hit Secret Service."
You can't keep using them because they're gonna get fucking shadow banned.
I'm keeping it really. I didn't say exactly what they were gonna use Secret Service for, buddy. Don't get mad at me, okay?
All right, maybe they're securing his location.
Exactly, securing him. All right, we gotta get out of here before we get fucking.
If we keep going, we're just gonna get fucking shadow banned, or maybe just straight up banned or deep.
The deep state's after us, Angel. The deep state is preventing our podcast from talking about the real subjects. Okay.
Just end it, man.
I'm at Josh Evanoff on Twitter. He's at Angel Ortega _01 at Courtside Soundoff for all things relating to the show. Hope you guys enjoyed. Peace and butt grease. No mouse click.